Welcome. My name is Cora Darlington and I am a burnout breakthrough specialist, and I am also a really passionate lover and supporter of women. And my superpower in the world is to truly support a woman to banish all of the overwhelm and the stress and create their lives on their terms. Now, as always, after the episode of Thrive Live, I will be posting into the comments section a link to be able to book a call with me to explore what working with me might look like. I'm not taking any more one-to-one clients on the rest of this year, but I will be opening my doors again in January, and you will want to keep your eyes and ears peeled because I'm also going to be releasing a brand new free masterclass for the new year. So I'm really excited about that. So here we are at episode 8. You know what you need to do to transform your life, but you are still not doing it. So we know all the things that we should be doing or want to be doing in order to change the trajectory of our lives. We know that doing these things is going to make a massive difference, but yet we're not doing that. And why is that? I really wanted to talk about this because I think this is something that we all struggle with a lot. So we're going to have a look at the 4 reasons, the main big 4 reasons why you are stuck, why you are inconsistent, and while you are failing at forming these really important new habits. Okay, so 4 things we're going to go through. So number 1, the one thing that is stopping you. So number 1 is your mind is wired to stop you. So your mind is actually wired to stop you from integrating these new habits, forming new ways of being. So the mind works in a way that wants to keep you safe. Its one and only job is to keep you safe. Its version of safe is familiar. Okay, so even if you don't like the trajectory that your life is on at the moment, even if you want things to change, there is a comfort zone in that. And the mind, your mind, wants to keep you in that comfort zone. So anytime you want to integrate anything new, anything that it does not recognize, it shows up like a red warning, and it will do anything and everything to distract you and move you away from that. So it really does help to know that your mind isn't going to get on board with these new ways of being. Okay, so you got to find it from somewhere else. And I'm going to give you solutions and tools and strategies for all of these things after. But the first thing I want to go through is these 4 things. So number 1, your mind is actually wired to stop you, not help you. Number 2, the things that you are trying to integrate may not be your things. So I'm going to say that again. The things that you are desperately trying to integrate may not be your things. What I mean by that is we often adopt a generic list of the things that we think that we should be doing. So, you know, all the things: journaling, yoga, exercise, meditation, all the things that I actually talk to you about on these episodes. But they are things you can go on Google and you can just Google, you know, what are things that will make me feel better? And those lists occur. Now, the only problem with that is if you don't do the work to find out what your things are, the things that mean something to you, the things that have you connected to your life, the things that you actually really feel motivated to do, the list of those things just turns up in you as just another list of things to do. It actually occurs to you as another responsibility. Okay, so that's number 2. The things that you're trying to integrate may not be your things. They might not resonate with you. Okay, and that is a massive boundary to integrating new habits. They might just not be the habits that switch you on. They may not juice you up. They may not make you feel delicious. You have to do the work to find out what your things are. That's number 2. Number 3, you're often or always in a feast or famine cycle. So you do everything or nothing. Okay, so you're either doing everything, you know, 30 new things I want to integrate, or you're doing nothing. Now, actually, that is a very insidious self-sabotage pattern. So you consciously or unconsciously overwhelm yourself. So there's so much that you just go into paralysis. You see it with dieting all the time. So number 3 is feast or famine cycle. You may already be resonating with some of this. You may already be seeing this in your self. I'm going to go into comments because sometimes people comment in the comment box and I want to be able to see it. Number 4, this is the last one. Long-term behavioral patterns are in charge. So it has taken you a long time to become the person that you are. Over a long period of time, you have formed certain behavioral patterns, certain habits that may or may not be serving you, okay? But they are laid down, they're strong, and they are absolutely running the show, for sure. In actual fact, we're almost like robots for most of the time, and we're just literally just going through the motions. So there's a guy called Joe Dispenza. If you've ever seen any of his stuff, he's absolutely brilliant. Definitely would suggest that you look him up. But he talks about the way that the brain is wired, just incredible stuff. It really gives you an insight into how the brain is wired. But, you know, we go to bed at night and we sleep on exactly the same side of the bed. We put the same foot down in the morning to pull ourselves out of bed. We go into the toilet, we brush our teeth. We go to the toilet, we go into the kitchen, we make a cup of coffee. That doesn't seem like any big thing, but if you think about it, we are literally just getting up and going through the motions of our lives every single day, but we're expecting a different outcome. So you know the quote that we all see, you've got to do something different in order to get something different. We all know that, right? But we're not doing that, okay? So you absolutely have got to interrupt these patterns. So number 4, for the reasons why you are stuck, inconsistent, and failing at forming new ways of being and new habits, is the long-term behavioral changes that have taken, the long-term behavioral patterns that have taken a long time to lay down are there, and they're strong, and they are running the show. So what do you do about it? So let's talk about what you do about it now. So they're the 4 things. So number 1, remember what we said, your mind is wired to stop you. So what do you do about that? You have to find a way to hack your mind. What I mean about that is you need to find a way to hear the voice that is always going to be trying to stop you, talk you out of, distract you from doing these things that is going to take your life in a different direction. It's always going to do that. So you've got to find a way to hear that voice that's trying to talk you out of it and take the action anyway. So it's all well and good for me to just say that. So what are the things that help you do that? So I'm going to say that meditation is a massive part of this. Over time, it helps you to master your relationship with your mind. It helps you to get a degree of separation from all of the stuff that's going on up there. And it allows you to make decisions and take action from a very, very different space. So over time, meditation will help you lay down, cultivate, create the right relationship with your mind. And that is huge. Okay, so that's mind mastery. Number 2, there's another lady that I really, really would love you to take a look at, especially if you are struggling with procrastination, all the things that I'm talking about today. And that is a woman called Mel Robbins. Take a look at her on YouTube. She's done an amazing TED talk, and she's got a very, very simple process to get you from stuck to moving. And it's called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 process. So 100% take a look at that. It's an amazing mind hack because you have definitely got to learn how to take action outside of what your mind is telling you. Okay, not easy, but massively doable. Number 2, remember that we said the things that you are trying to integrate may not be your things. So I'm going to take you back to a much earlier episode when I talked about it is all about the way that you want to feel. So in order for you to know what your things are, what juices you are, what has you connected to your life, what you are likely to want to integrate into your life in terms of really good habits, you have got to be in touch or ask yourself even how you want to feel. Okay, so the 2 questions are, how do I want to feel in my life? And you can segment it in my business, in my relationship, you can do all of that, but just generally, how do you want to feel in your life? It sounds like a simple question. It's one that we very, very rarely ask ourselves. All right. So how do I want to feel? Once you've answered, how do you want to feel? Then the next question is, what has me feeling those ways? So now I know how I want to feel, but actually what helps me generate those feelings. Now, once you know what those things are, you know that they're the things that you want to begin to integrate into your life, not some bloody generic list of things that you think that you should be doing, that the world tells you are good things, but you're not doing them because they don't resonate actually with you at all. And you don't want these things occurring to you like things that you should do, should be doing, because there's like a level of responsibility there, that is actually attached to a lot of things that we do in life. So you want these things to feel very different. You want them to feel like they're given to you, not things that you just tick off like a tick list. But you won't know what those things are unless you are in relationship with yourself. And those two questions really open the lid and give you insight into who you are and what you want. Feeling, connecting into how you want to feel is absolutely everything. Okay. So that's number 2. Number 3, feast or famine cycle. So one thing to help you with this is to start small. Okay, so one thing to get you out of that self-sabotage, because setting yourself up to do loads of things is literally setting yourself up for failure. And you'll know what I mean, right? Even as you're writing down these things that you're going to do, you can tell you're not going to do them. Okay, but we set ourselves up for failure all the time. Okay, so to stop that self-sabotage, start with something small. It could be that if you want to meditate, you might want to meditate for an hour a day, but if you've never meditated before, that for most people is going to be too much. So it might be that you decide, you commit to yourself that you're going to meditate for 5 minutes every day, or even 2 minutes, or even 3 minutes. Okay, so you start small. Rian Zena Daniel is saying, I'm guilty of all of these. I know all of us are, which is why I really wanted to do this episode today. Carrie Ann says she's following Mel Robbins on Insta. She's amazing. So definitely look her up. So start small, integrate that really well, and then start to add things on, because then you can really show yourself that you can successfully integrate something. Okay, so start small is the answer to the feast or famine cycle. Number 4, long-term behavioral patterns are running the show. So this is a truth bomb. It took you a long time to become this person. It's not going to be an overnight fix for you to change some of the ways that are not working for you. Okay, that's not rocket science, but I think sometimes we, in the culture that we live in, we want everything now. Well, I really want to be real with you. It took a long time for these things to form. It isn't going to be overnight for them to change. The point is, you absolutely must keep interrupting these automatic responses and ways of being. Now, that is not easy to do. Okay, it's not, because otherwise we wouldn't just keep on defaulting to these ways of being that we don't like, right? We don't like them, but yet we still like it. What do we do about that? So you get visible for these things that you want to change. You say it out loud to people. There's something powerful that happens when you verbalize something, when you put it out there. It makes it more real. It brings more intention to it. So you become visible and audible about the changes that you're wanting to make, the things that you're wanting to shift on. And the next thing is to be accountable. So I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. So Forbes magazine, never mind Forbes magazine, my own experience says that accountability is the single biggest factor in whether something is successful or not. Because if you've got no accountability, if you're not visible, those long-term behavioral patterns, these mind patterns that we've got going on are so strong, they will keep you stuck every single time. So accountability is absolutely massive. So that brings me to also letting you know that after I finish now today, I'm going to be, like I said, posting that link in for an exploration call. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up again is the mastermind community that I run is incredible for getting you clear, crystal clear on who you are and what you want. And it is really, really strong on accountability. It is probably one of the most powerful spaces I've ever been in for exactly that. So make sure that if you want to have a chat to me about any of the stuff, any of the things that I do, click the link and it's like a half an hour call and we can explore that. So that's all today. Thank you for watching, and please, 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 please make sure that you share this with anybody that you know needs to hear some of the stuff that I'm talking about. So, you know, there really is light at the end of the tunnel. And the 4 things I've talked about today are things that can really help you really get unstuck once and for all, okay? Because there's no need for us to be stuck. There's not, but we just gotta do some things differently in order to get different things. Okay, it's been lovely to speak to you, and I will see you next week.